Hey guys, Grant here from Doghouse Design. I've had quite a few people asking about how I built this forge and furnace in one, so I thought I'd make a little video, put together a little video for you so you can just see exactly what was used and find out where I made mistakes and what I did wrong and what worked well, etc. So that if you decide to do it yourself, you can not make the same mistakes, hopefully. So the entire outer casing of the unit plus the base, the bottom of it, is all made out of these discs here. These are all offcuts from a laser, basically the holes out of a donut for flanges, and I've used that right the way over the entire thing to make the outside of it. I cut up a jig here that allows me to put them in next to each other so that they can sit in next to each other and then go around and weld it, and I just made lots of lines of them basically up to there. Cut a whole heap of them in half so that I could build that, and also some down here, which is the door to allow you to go in and use it as a forge. So inside the casing we have a piece of 0.6mm stainless steel. That's just there to stop the cable that's behind it from coming out between these pieces here, obviously. Yeah, and then basically behind that we have cable, and then we have 33mm thick fire bricks or fire pavers. These pavers are rated to, I believe, 1800 degrees centigrade, so we'll happily do whatever's needed for this. These ones here are a bit more fun to make, obviously. Getting the taper right and so forth was a bit of a pain, but worth it in the end, I think. As you can see up here, they're just held in by these little locator metal tags, which are just welded to the outside so they can't fall out, and you can see up behind there the cable that's in behind these pavers as well. One of my biggest mistakes was the size of the whole furnace, because it was going to be, or it is used as both a forge and a furnace. I made it bigger than what it really needed to be. As you can see, that's an A8 crucible in there, and there's absolutely heaps of room around it, so way too big for that crucible, but still does the job. But yeah, it's quite huge. You could just about fit a devil forge inside. It's 280 diameter inside, so yeah, it's reasonably big. It's also very heavy, as you can imagine. Hence little wheels underneath it and the trolley that I made for it. Those little pins there, those have got pins that go for it with nuts on them so that you can level it on the ground so it doesn't roll anywhere when you're using it, which you don't really want to happen, obviously. The other thing that I've discovered was that there's a very big difference between ceramic fibre rope and glass fibre rope. This here is glass fibre rope, or at least it was before it turned into just glass. Okay, this is ceramic fibre rope, which stays soft like a rope. Yeah, don't get the two confused, because this is going to have to all be replaced with the ceramic fibre, because it just can't handle the heat, basically. Along with cheapy fire cement, this cheapy stuff from Bunnings or wherever it was, Mitre 10 I think it was. It doesn't handle the heat at all. That's all the stuff here that's flaking off. Whereas the bubblied stuff, which is what it's supposed to do, has got solid, absolutely solid, and that's the cast stuff, which is really good, and can get locally in New Zealand, which is fantastic. But yeah, so that's a big thing to watch as well, as big difference. Glass fibre rope's fine for your fireplace, but it's not gonna cope with the high temperatures. Another thing I've learnt is that fireproof paint ain't actually fireproof paint. The black on this and the yellow is supposed to be all rated to about 1200 degrees centigrade, which is probably about the hottest the inside has got to so far. And as you can see, it's just not liking it at all, and it's dying. The interesting thing is, those numbers are a CRC paint pen. So just your normal paint pens that you buy from your workshop places and so forth. That paint seems to be perfectly happy with the temperature and has stayed there, whereas the other stuff that's not rated for temperatures doesn't. So this is obviously set up currently in furnace mode. So you can put in whatever crucible you want in there. Okay. Down the front here we have a little door. If I can undo this one-handed, which we undo. That comes off. This comes out. This comes out. There's the car wall inside. And then we have a paver here. Once again, glass fibre doesn't work, just melts. And then we have access to the inside from down here for using it as a forge. So stick your hot metal in and put the metal in, heat it up, beat the crap out of it with a big hammer. If I take this out, I then also made up these pieces over here. So this guy here, he sits down, sorry about the camera work, like so. This guy is upside down, and he lives trickily. This is a bit of a tight fit to get him in there, but he does fit in there, believe it or not. There it is. There we go. He sits in there. Now this part I can't do without two hands, and that paver sits down on top, so it separates the top and the bottom completely. Then I can use just the one burner to run the bottom furnace part, or forge part, sorry, and then there's still room in the top if I wanted to be able to melt some metal as well. So like I said, it's a lot bigger than it actually needed to be, but seems to have worked out okay for it. So the burners are just the standard internet design 2-inch down to 3/4 inch pipe and a 1-inch flare on the other end in the burner. So just very standard pipe put together. On the back here I've made up these little adjusters so I can adjust the air going into the back, and looks nice as well. And then inside here we've just got a 0.6mm MIG tip in each burner. They're just fed through these hoses, which are not the right type of hoses at all. They're basically washing machine hoses, but there's no pressure actually held in the pipes, so that's not really going to be a major issue unless the MIG tips block up, but even then it's not going to be an issue. And it just comes through to two valves there so that I can turn them on individually or together if I want, and have a decent regulator on my bottle as well. I also have put in a igniter for my barbecue, so it's an electronic one, and the battery works. Click, 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 and that travels up one of the bottom burner to the inside of the 1-inch flare, and that's where it arcs, is inside the 1-inch flare to ignite the burners. Well, ignite the bottom one anyway.